The mayor of the city of Seattle is the chief executive officer of the city and is responsible for enforcing city and state law, city contracts, and maintaining order. The mayor appoints department heads, subject to city council approval, and manages the executive branch of city government. The mayor has the authority to veto ordinances passed by the city council, and the council may override such vetoes by a 2/3 majority vote. The mayor is elected for a 4-year term. The top 2 vote-getters in August will advance to the general election in November.
I am a queer, Black, and Latino architect, a housing activist, and a high-risk individual. In March 2020, when the pandemic began, my small business contracts fell through. In June, I heard the sounds of helicopters and flashbangs as residents marched in my neighborhood in the name of Black lives against state-sponsored violence. In September, during the worst wildfires the West Coast has ever seen, an orange sky with smoke seeped through the cracks of my old windows. As I read, the city had 95 shelter spaces for 5,500 people. In Seattle, we have a strong mayor system. That means the mayor controls whether the city chooses to act or not in the midst of an economic crisis, a housing crisis, and the climate crisis. The inaction thus far in Seattle is unacceptable. I am running for mayor in this moment because for too long, career politicians and lawyers have said the right things without doing them. No more empty promises. I will fulfill our Seattle Green New Deal, say no to sweeping our unhoused neighbors, reform and defund our police to create true public safety, and build the housing that we need. Most of our problems come down to housing justice, where homes are allowed to be or aren't, how many we have or don't, and how much they cost. Creating a system is the first step on a new path to achieving so much of what we want. I understand our systems and can make it more sustainable quickly while ensuring community comes first. If you're looking for a candidate with clear plans who is committed to serving 2 terms so that we can finally be the city that we say we are, then I am your candidate. It is time for a mayor of action.
Seattle is a beautiful city suffering from a dreadful lack of leadership. Bickering, finger-pointing, and ideological posturing have hurt our residents and undermined our national reputation. I have a plan to bring people together, create a more fair and sustainable future, build working coalitions, and strive for equity and rise above the infighting and inertia that have held our city back for so long. It is way past time to stop talking about our problems and start taking steps to solve them. For 30 years, I have used my skills as a political scientist and economic development practitioner to create jobs and bring people together. I am an entrepreneur who has held leadership positions with businesses, nonprofit organizations, federal and state lawmakers, local mayors, public-private partnerships, and educational institutions. My background and experience fully prepare me to lead Seattle at this critical moment. As recovery from the pandemic gets underway, now is an excellent time to reassess how our city does business. Seattle can be a model of effectiveness, sustainability, and accountability to its citizens. Becoming that new model requires a new attitude of responsibility at City Hall. I have developed a platform detailing my plan to address some of Seattle's biggest challenges: dignity and housing options for people experiencing homelessness, turbocharging our economic recovery, increasing public safety, and mitigating climate change, to name just a few. My platform is an investment in our people, our culture, and our future. Seattle is at a crossroads. Our next mayor will either set us on a bold new course for responsible leadership or simply continue business as usual. We cannot afford another 4 years of talking and not taking action. I am ready to chart a new course to provide transformational leadership for a transforming city. I ask for your vote to be Seattle's next mayor.
I'm Lorena Gonzalez. I'm a first-time mom and a proud first-generation American. I grew up as a migrant farm worker in Central Washington. I worked my way through community college, WSU, and Seattle University Law School. As a civil rights attorney, I won cases for victims of sexual assault, wage theft, elder abuse, and police misconduct and brutality. I ran for office 6 years ago after seeing how hard things were becoming for many Seattleites, especially workers and people of color. Housing is too expensive. Wages are too low. Big corporations have too much say. Police are not being held accountable nearly enough. As the first Latina elected citywide, I've brought people together to start providing safe spaces for those without homes. We've expanded pre-K and doubled preschool slots. We've helped Seattle's small businesses and families survive the pandemic, and we've begun to demilitarize the police. I want a Seattle that's livable for everyone. We can be a city that brings people together to solve the root causes of homelessness, like inequality, housing costs, and poverty. One where Black and brown people don't fear police brutality. A city of connected, livable, safe neighborhoods that all have affordable childcare, good public schools, safe parks, and modern public transit. With housing and rent everyone can afford, not just the wealthy. Where all kinds of businesses can grow in every neighborhood and all jobs pay a living wage. This is the really hard and necessary work of the next mayor. I have the track record and the relationships with the city council, labor, small businesses, and members of the community to boldly lead our progressive city so that it's once again the vibrant city we all love. Truly a Seattle for all. I ask for your vote to be Seattle's next mayor.
I'm Casey SIXKILLER. I grew up in Seattle and am raising 3 young kids here. I'm running for mayor so every family has a future in Seattle. This past year was one of the most challenging in our city's history. Despite great wealth and opportunity, too many families are being left behind. Our neighborhoods are struggling with empty storefronts, homelessness, and crime. Instead of coming together to meet these challenges, we're being held back by divisions. I've spent my career advancing practical, progressive solutions at every level of government. I've formed partnerships to create new housing and shelters, expand access to parks, advance equity by dismantling institutional barriers, and secured millions of dollars to restore critical habitat, replace failing bridges, and invest in high-capacity transit. Growing up in Seattle, we didn't agree on everything, but we've found ways to make progress on important issues. Now is our opportunity to rebuild a stronger and more equitable Seattle with fresh ideas and bold actions. As mayor, I will pilot a guaranteed basic income program so working families of any income level can build futures here. Help our small businesses recover from the pandemic. Expand and make childcare more affordable. Invest in our neighborhoods so they are safe and thriving. And restore our parks and streets to their intended uses by adding 3,000 new places for people experiencing homelessness to call home. I'm the only candidate with experience running large organizations. I know firsthand that change requires vision and partnership. This moment demands a leader who will sit down with those on the other side of an issue to find common ground and move us all forward. I'll work every day to show our kids we can achieve the future we all want for Seattle. I would be honored to have your vote.
My name is Dr. Bliss. As your mayor, I will act with vision, courage, and compassion. I've spent my career as a medical leader developing sustainable systems that provide compassionate care for all. As a leader, I understand that core values of civil rights and police accountability can never be safely negotiated away. In 2019, the Ninth Circuit Court ruled that charging a person with vagrancy when they have nowhere else to go is cruel and unusual punishment and a violation of their civil rights. In response, our city allows living in tent encampments and promotes policies encouraging theft, vandalism, and violent crimes as a way to meet basic needs. The Seattle Police Department has been under a federal decree since 2012 for repeatedly violating our civil rights. Our police union contract protects rogue police officers from disciplinary action and prosecution. In 2019, the federal court found the city remains in violation. The city has no timeline for resolution. We need solutions. Protecting civil rights is non-negotiable. If elected, I would immediately provide basic emergency food, shelter, security, and treatment to our residents who have no other options. Permanently remove tent dwellers from city parks, and nullify any section of the police union contract that limits accountability and oversight. Join me in solidarity. Vote for wise action. Vote Dr. Bliss for mayor.
I'm Bobby Tucker, Seattle's next mayor, a leader who cares, a leader who will listen to your voices, a God-fearing man, leader with integrity, building a team to house those that are in shelters and unsheltered, education that will build character and confidence in our children, securing the future for our children, so they can look forward to their future, public safety that makes sense, creating a healthy environment for businesses. What has happened in Seattle in the past could have been prevented with effective leadership. Regardless of what has happened, can now be fixed with me and a team that is serious and cares about Seattle nice. There is nothing new under the sun. Nehemiah 1, Nehemiah asked certain men of Judea concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left to the captivity concerning Jerusalem. When they had shared with Nehemiah of the broken down walls, and Nehemiah sat down and wept and mourned because Nehemiah cared. Nehemiah 2:8-10, then I told of the hand of God, which is good upon me, also the king's word that he has spoken unto me. And they said, let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work. Let us come together, Seattle nice, and succeed. Bobby Tucker for Seattle's mayor.
Hi, I'm James Donaldson, a former Seattle Supersonic local business owner and a 40-year resident of the city. Today, I lead a nonprofit serving at-risk youth with a focus on mental health awareness and suicide prevention. As your next mayor, I will restore trust in our police, bring more compassion and accountability to the homelessness crisis, and promote more affordable housing. The current city government is just failing to address the challenges we all know are so important. I look to other successful cities for answers. In Newark, New Jersey, they chose to reform their police, not defund. In the last year, not a single officer has fired their gun. That's a remarkable success and one we can learn from. In Vienna, they encourage both private and high-quality public housing. Vienna also does a better job in connecting homeless to the addiction and mental health services. Compassion and accountability. As a lifelong Democrat, I'm right there with the voters of the city. 71% of Seattleites support reforming the police, not defunding. 72% of the voters favor my plan to reduce homelessness by increasing access to mental health and addiction services. 56% of the voters agree with me that we need more affordable housing. The remarkable issue is how few Seattle politicians agree with the Seattle voters. Seattle politics is often a fight between well-funded special interest groups who drive our council to the extreme. Across America, Seattle has used as an example of what not to do. We'll fix that. After addressing these three big issues, I have one project that's near and dear to my heart: save our Sonics and get our team back. I'm James Donaldson, former Seattle Supersonic, lifelong Democrat, and your choice for mayor.
Hello, friends. Do you think Seattle's better off today than it was 10 years ago? Do you feel vulnerable members of our community have the support they need to improve their lives? Do you feel safer? Do you feel downtown represents the spirit of Seattle? There's only one honest answer to all these questions: no. Our homelessness crisis is getting worse. Downtown is deteriorating. Businesses are closing. Residents feel unsafe. Roads need repairs. And no current city leader is taking responsibility. That's why I'm running for Seattle mayor. My name is Art Langley, and I'm not a more of the same candidate. I'll take Seattle down a different path, starting by taking responsibility for solving our homelessness crisis, restoring a vibrant downtown, reforming public safety, and rebuilding infrastructure. I'm the only candidate with a comprehensive plan to end our homelessness emergency. I will increase mental health and recovery services in triage centers and rapidly create housing with critical wraparound services to break the cycle of homelessness. Seattle's breakdown of public safety, crumbling roads, and declining downtown are all symptoms of a serious problem. Our current leaders no longer prioritize delivering basic government services with excellence. I am the only candidate who understands that city government must get the basics right, from fixing potholes to keeping us safe. I'm ready to take responsibility and get to work for you. But you have an important choice to make. Will you choose more of the same, or will you choose a path toward recovery? My name is Art Langley, and I would be honored to earn your vote. I know that together, we can do better.
Seattle is a great city, but our leaders are failing us. City Hall has become dysfunctional. Thousands are sleeping outside. Housing is unaffordable. Small businesses are going under. Police reform has failed. The middle class gets squeezed harder every day. We're all exhausted by Seattle politicians saying the right thing, but not doing the right thing when it matters. I've been doing hard things that matter my whole life. I've spent the last 7 years fighting for our homeless Native community as executive director at the Chief Seattle Club. We're building $180 million in affordable housing. We're innovating. Surplus trailers on parking lots called Eagle Village, modular housing in Lake City, 200 family units with a longhouse. And we're succeeding. During the pandemic, we moved entire encampments from the International District and Pioneer Square to the safety of hotel rooms. I'm leading. I have a 22-point emergency housing action plan to bring everyone sleeping outside into safety in 14 months following the election. You can see my plan at my website. As a longtime community police advocate, I'm done with racism and brutality with zero consequences. As a community police commissioner, we fought to block the current police union contract, but the mayor and council buckled, rolling back reforms on racial bias and violating the federal consent decree. Seattle's next mayor will hire a new police chief and negotiate a new police contract, determining the future of reform. You can see my plan at my website. Affordable housing, racial justice, equitable recovery, climate change, transit, education, the West Seattle Bridge. We have so much important work ahead of us. It's time for a new generation of leadership in Seattle. I believe in this city. If you'll believe in me, together we can make Seattle the city we all love.
Hello, I'm Donnell Rivers, your candidate for mayor of Seattle. The condition of our city is critical. We are in the middle of redefining our lives in the present and what it will become in the future. Seattle citizens are strong, hardworking, and caring people. We are devoted to accepting change for the better. Now is that time. We must develop bold leaders. We must listen to each other and together change negatives to positives for the present and our future. Yes, we have work to do. Know this, homelessness must not exist in Seattle. I will reconstruct our police department because Black lives do matter. We are the city of destiny, a place where quality lives will always be developed. I will pledge to develop a new stream of revenue. I will work hard to create new leaders skilled with the 3 L's, the ability to listen, learn, and then lead. We are a city destined to become culturally competent of one another's needs, desires to prosper. We will monitor our environment and create appropriate change necessary. We will remember our indigenous tribes and their desire to move forward. We will find new locations for our preschool children and their care. I look forward to developing our disaster and pandemic readiness program. I will look forward to working with our youth and the young adults to develop a program that will keep dangerous drivers off our streets and freeways. I need your vote, your support. The change is here. I'm Donnell Rivers. Black lives do matter.
Seattle is starving for effective leadership, a mayor who makes no excuses and acts with urgency. I will unite our communities around our progressive values to make real progress on the challenges we face. My father was one of City Life's first Black union linemen. My Japanese mother was cruelly interned during World War II. Their fight for equity and justice informed my legal career, standing up for workers and small businesses. It drives my public service to work for you. The homelessness crisis must be our first priority. Finger pointing is frustrating and inhumane. As mayor, no more excuses. I will take charge and take responsibility for action. Here's my plan. Real action to accelerate current city spending and secure $140 million in federal relief funds to provide immediate housing and services, and clean up our parks and school properties and sidewalks. Our plan, our outcomes, our progress will be accessible to you by a click of a button so you know we're making progress every day. Next, we must unite around an economic recovery for all, assisting downtown and neighborhood small businesses, and establishing a Seattle Job Center connecting people to careers. I led the $15 minimum wage discussion. Now I will expand childcare and build housing and transit so working people and families can continue to call the city our home. We will improve public safety and build trust in our police, changing SBD's tactics and their culture. I sponsored Seattle's first anti-bias police law. Let's reimagine policing, not threaten defunding, and keep all communities safe. I'm grateful so many have endorsed me. Governor Gary Locke, Seattle Mayors Norm Rice and Wes Ullman, unions like the Transit Union 587 and construction and trade members from the NAACP and leaders from the NAACP, faith leaders and business owners, so many more. I'd be honored to earn your vote for a better Seattle.
Hi, I'm Stan Lippman, and I'm running for mayor of Seattle, and I ask for your support. I still believe Seattle will be the city of the future. All the pieces are here, but not integrated. How do we retain our uniqueness, but by realizing Denny's dream on the beach at Alki? The elements have laid dormant since the hippie 60s. The Space Needle, the monorail, the Westin Tower, the elements of Sky City, like in the Jetsons, a 12-story Westin segment, 12 condos per floor, between 400 and 500 feet. The Space Needle cost $5 million silver dollars in 1960. That's $100 million today. With advanced construction methods, 2,000 Space Needle condos, 288,000 units of city-owned affordable housing spread a mile apart in a hexagonal pattern. These Space Needles also form a new transportation grid at the 100-foot level. Monorails suspended between the towers will fly you around the city. Priority will be given to the families of school-aged children. For Seattle to prosper in the future, children must come first. Since there's going to be a teacher crisis in September, parents can elect to establish a $250,000 educational trust fund, which can be invested in city-owned projects such as the Space Needle condos or city-like green energy projects. The first project will be a dark energy thermal engine from Brilliant Light Power to heat climate change arena with virtually free zero-point energy. For the grid, vehicle-to-grid will blanket the city, allowing low-cost EV ownership for everyone. Also, I will pay city bills in U.S. silver dollars, propose dual currency laws for business, and establish a copper brick monetary base in the form of a copper pyramid next to the Space Needle. I'm Stan Lippman, and I believe in Seattle. If you want to double the economy and grow into the next decade of wealth and prosperity for all of us, please elect me mayor of Seattle in August 3rd primary and November.
A just, equitable, and thriving Seattle is possible, but we must come together with a common purpose to make it a reality. City Hall politicians have tried and failed to address the crises our city faces, especially on homelessness. We need new leadership with a fresh perspective, but also a proven track record of delivering real results. I'm JESSYN FARRELL, the only candidate with the proven ability to bridge divides and build the coalitions needed to tackle our toughest problems. As executive director of the nonprofit Transportation Choices Coalition, I help transform mass transit in the Puget Sound region. As a state legislator, I work to improve people's lives by leading and passing landmark paid family leave, creating more affordable housing, and securing billions for light rail expansion, all while dealing with a Republican-controlled Senate. Governor Inslee chose me to lead the state's COVID Economic Recovery Task Force for a reason. I know how to solve problems. Under my leadership, we secured $50 million for small businesses left out of federal pandemic relief. As a single mom with 3 kids in public schools, I understand the urgent need to better support working families. I'll make sure every kid in every neighborhood has safe parks, streets, and sidewalks, and is free from the threat of gun violence. All prioritizing adding all types of housing, including services, ensuring people can access the mental and health treatments they need and get help finding work. I'll build 70,000 more affordable homes and get the city back on track delivering basic services. I'm proud to be endorsed by progressive elected officials, small business owners, and community leaders. I'm a born and raised Seattleite, attended Shoreline Public Schools, and went on to the UW and then to law school. If you, like me, are tired of excuses and empty promises and want a leader who will hit the ground running, stop the infighting, and deliver results, then I hope you will vote for me to be your next mayor.
Our democracy is in peril, and we are in the midst of a mental health emergency. Therefore, in times of crisis, sacrifice is needed, which is why I'm offering my services as mayor of Seattle. I'm a strong leader who can communicate important ideas and take a completely different approach to these 21st century issues. I have the right temperament for the complexity of the job. I'm a minister, military war veteran, and founder of the nonprofit public charity called Balance Due. My personality is empathetic, compassionate, stern, and unrelenting. I can inform, connect, and inspire the community in an amazing way. My belief: if we have a laser-sharp focus on our mutual obstacles, together we can overcome and have a more robust return to our common bond of normalcy. My vision for Seattle: economic harmony. We want to streamline economic recovery, balance the budget, create a more sustainable future, and more racial equity. My belief: with hope and optimism, we can create a new vitality, one that translates into a better quality of life for all of Seattle. I envision the Emerald City shining again, illuminating even stronger and louder. I see an enhanced beauty with the people of Seattle reveling in the newfound prosperity and vibrance of the city. So in conclusion, I implore the people of Seattle to help me help you by voting for democracy, by voting for change, by voting for a new energy, by voting for me, Rodney Holt, your next mayor of Seattle.